So I guess I want to start off by just asking about your experience, how you came upon this space, what has been the progression and what kept you here for this long and
in the mobile space?
Mobile space, and then we could segue into, let's say, what you see as the current trend, future,
okay.
Any suggestion, advice, whatever.
Yeah, so for a long time, I guess since while I was in college, and I was in college during the dot-com boom, I became a web developer, and I was professionally a web developer for years and years, and then I moved to Silicon Valley for a web developer job, and this was right around the time that the App Store came out, and I was starting to get tired of the web. New things in the web weren't that exciting to me, and the App Store was out, and the iPhone was very exciting to me, and I was running personal web apps on a hosting provider called SliceHost, which my current employer, Rackspace, purchased. And I wanted to learn how to make my first iPhone app, so I was like, well, I'm a SliceHost customer. They have a REST API. So I built an iPhone app to manage my SliceHost servers, so I could, on my phone, reboot a box that was slow or whatever, or add new servers to my account to deploy new stuff. And no one had done that yet on mobile. So, but I wasn't trying to do anything innovative. I was just trying to scratch my own itch and have fun and learn how to make iPhone apps. And I sent it to SliceHost, and that kind of started this great relationship where I met all these wonderful people at Rackspace, and eventually that turned into me working for them. And I spent a long time building apps for managing the cloud with the Rackspace apps for iPhone, iPad, Android. Looked at Windows Mobile, but I don't have a computer that runs Windows, so I didn't get very far with that. And then got involved in the OpenStack Foundation, at least in the early days. I'm not that involved with them now. So I guess for me, the thing that's kept me in the mobile space is that it's where everything exciting is happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just there's the excitement of being able to do something on the go. Yelp, for example, is a really popular service in the US, maybe around the world, for looking for restaurant reviews or other business reviews. And it's great on your web browser, but when you're out with your cell phone in the middle of San Francisco, and you can use location on the device and find what's the best restaurant within 2 blocks of this neighborhood, that's an exciting thing about mobile, but that's not really the thing that excited me about it. It's cool to do stuff on the go, but what was exciting to me was that you could build these fluid, beautiful user interfaces that are always, if you do a good job, always responsive and not dealing with things like various screen sizes, although you do with Android, and the vagaries of browsers, how's it going to act in Chrome or Firefox or Safari or IE. All of that kind of goes away when you go to native app development, and that was really exciting to me because, to me as a developer, the thing that excites me the most is building a fun user experience. So that's kind of what's kept me in mobile all along. It's still fun, even though it seems like as far as mobile operating system features and SDKs, not a lot interesting has happened in the last maybe year or two.
Mm-hmm.
iOS hasn't changed that much. Android hasn't changed that much. You could write, the apps you can write today aren't that much more interesting than the apps you could write 2 years ago, in my opinion. Okay. Hopefully that'll change. The devices are getting better, so you can do deeper things, I guess, but more polygons in your games or whatever. But there hasn't been any sort of huge leap in a while. Hopefully, I'm going to WWDC this next month, I guess. Okay. I'm hoping Apple announces something amazing. Because now I look at new apps in the App Store, and nothing's really exciting me. Games, there's still interesting things going on in gaming. Right. But as far as applications, it's starting to repeat itself a bit, and it's becoming more refined. But there's nothing that just blows it out of the water. So. Yeah,
you've definitely been seeing more, I guess, apps in the same, category, same line of service, doing much more or less the same thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. There's you've had Facebook and Twitter forever, and then Path comes out. So that's a nice, beautiful social network. But it's not, and I'm not insulting Path, that's great, but it's another social network. It's, albeit a very good one. But it's not something that's like totally different than anything ever before.
It's not a paradigm shift.
It's not a paradigm shift. That's
right.
Because the path is different than anything before it. But yeah, I haven't seen any paradigm shift kind of apps in a while. Maybe there's just some great idea that none of us have thought of yet. The Siri stuff, and whatever the Google
Glass.
Well, Google Glass is interesting. I saw Robert Scoble the other day, and he let me try it on this Google Glass. So I got to try it. I wore one for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, how'd you feel?
I felt like it's an interesting idea, but I wasn't as blown away by it as he is. I found it awkward to do this, to change between screens. I don't know if you knew that. That's how you navigate Google Glass, but it worked well. It just didn't seem like it did much, but it's not supposed to do much yet. So they're in explore mode.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll also see how much it costs. Like, I would maybe pay $100 or $200 for it if they were smaller. I felt like I looked silly in them, but if everyone's wearing them, then you don't look that silly, I guess. But the price point has to be low. If it ends up being a $500 pair of glasses, I don't think it's going to take off. So
right.
I don't know. It's interesting, but it's in its infancy. But that's definitely could be a paradigm shift.
Right.
Or it could be a flop. When I tried it on, it kind of reminded me of the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Do you remember that? it was neat, but kind of
yeah.
But Scoble loves it, and a lot of people do. Other people are scared of it. So that's definitely interesting. That's an interesting thing going on.
Right. So I guess what you're saying is that the current trend is that there's proliferation of apps. It's rather plateauing.
It's plateauing in it's plateauing, I guess, in innovation, but it's becoming more refined in design and user experience.
Okay.
There are all kinds of let's look at weather apps on the iPhone, for example, right? So the iPhone shipped with a weather app. It was fine, but minimally featured. Then the Weather Channel puts out an app that gives you all kinds of information, but it's not very attractive. And lately, this is a trend I've seen over about the last year. It's like there are a lot of weather apps coming out that put a huge focus on the graphic design and user experience. Yahoo just put out a stunning weather app that pulls in pictures from Flickr, and it's awesome. It's a fantastic app. And then one I didn't like it a lot, but a lot of people like, is the Weather Cube, and it uses an interesting gesture-based approach to navigating the weather. But you already had access to the weather. This isn't a new thing, but it's being refined. The design and user experience is hitting a higher level.
I see.
So that's good, but it's not something truly new like Google Glass is. So that's what I see in apps. And maybe I'm wrong. That's just my own perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of like the progression from telegraph to telephone, right? You're saying it's transmitting a message, with the same, period of time that you're doing it, but doing it differently.
Yeah, or it's like Mac OS 9 to Mac OS 10 versus lion to mountain lion. It's just it's refinement. It's not a whole new thing.
Okay.
So that's my take on it.
Right. And obviously you're in this space, and you're an expert in this space. So what would you say would be, the next leap forward?
If I knew, I'd be working on it. I'm not sure.
Or you're working on something.
I'm working on something for Rackspace right now that I think is interesting. But it's not really a leap forward in the mobile space. I'm working on something that helps us interact with our customers on Twitter better. So, and keeps us on top of our social media presence 24 hours.
Okay.
And I think that's cool, but that's not a paradigm shift. That's just something that's interesting for Rackspace and potentially for other people if we decide to turn it into a product. Right. I guess the next leap forward, it just needs more refinement at this point, is companion devices to mobile devices. Because the only thing the iPhone that I can think of, at least, that the iPhone doesn't have is NFC. But Android has that. We'll see that evolve, and eventually you'll pay for stuff with your phones. But that's not a huge leap forward. That's just an extra convenience. But I do see more devices tied to your mobile device, like your phone or your tablet. Things like the Fitbit or the Fitbit bracelet or the Nike Fuel Band.
Oh yeah, okay.
The same kind of thing where it tracks your steps, and then you can look on your phone and see, if I've been lazy today or have I had a healthy, active lifestyle.
Right.
Like I have a Y thing scale at home, so I stand on the scale, it tells me how much I weigh, and then it's in my phone, and I can look at a graph of, my change of weight over time. And then there's the Pebble Watch. That was a big Kickstarter campaign. It's out now, where you can control your iPhone, your iPod, or your music on your Android from your watch without having to get your phone out. Or like if someone texts you, it's on your watch, but it's communicating over Bluetooth to your phone. Google Glass, also the same thing. These are devices that do things to try to get you away from staring at your phone all the time. And that's kind of cool. I see a lot of stuff coming there. I really, really want to see a deep integration of the phone with the car. I think that would be good for like public safety, and I don't know. I think it would be interesting if I could.
Is it just a simple app saying that don't text and drive, or
no? I mean, this is pie in the sky things I wish for, but I would love to like Siri, take me to Little Star Pizza, and then it's overlaid on my windshield like. Path over the road, so I'm not even looking over at the screen of my GPS. I'm looking at the road.
Right.
Like if I get a text, perhaps show it to me, because I'm guilty of this. Like I'll put my phone to the side where I can see the screen. If I get a text, I'll glance at it and focus on the road.
Yeah.
I won't type back, but it'd be better if I could just see it there, because temptation it's nearly impossible to resist the temptation of looking at your phone. So things that would make that experience better, I would love to see. But I don't know if anyone's working on that or not. I know I read something about, maybe it was Volkswagen's working on like a deep Siri integration or something, but I don't know. I want more.
Oh, definitely.
I want Google Glass to be a car app. I don't want it to be a pair of glasses. I want it to be my car.
Yeah, maybe it'll be integrated with the Google car and everything, right?
Maybe so. That would be awesome.
It would be.
Do it.
I think those are all my questions, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's nice to be here today.
Absolutely. Those are very insightful words that you spoke about.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks.